we saw a big reveal happen. We don't get to see it, but those people who stayed up all night long for days on end got to see it. Can you give us a little sort of tease or recap of what that might have looked like if you got to see it? Can you give that away?
It was really just a big title treatment of what looked like Iron Man's mask being smashed into something else that then turns into the classic sort of Ultron mask from the comics.
Oh, I'm so excited.
It was cool.
So there are many Ultron stories in the Marvel Universe. Is there one that you might want to say you use for inspiration, or one you might want to dispel that you use for inspiration?
Well, yeah, a lot of people, because we called it Age of Ultron, and there was a book, Age of Ultron, just recently assumed that was the storyline we're doing, which is not the case. We're doing our own version of the origin story of Ultron, and the other thing is in the origin story, there was Hank Pym, so a lot of people assumed he was going to be in the mix, but he's not, because we're basically taking the things from the comics for the movies that we need and can use. A lot of stuff has to fall by the wayside. Ultron was their chief villain when I read the book. He's been the Avengers villain for so long. I was amazed anybody was surprised it was going to be him in the movie, but we sort of were crafting our own version of it, and where his origin comes more directly from the Avengers we already know about.
And now, this is something that you've had brewing for a while.
Since before I even took the job of making the first one, I said, but I don't know if I want to make this movie, but the second one should have Ultron in it.
You are writing the script. It's in process right now.
Yes, it's very close to being finished. It's not going to be late.
Where is it, Joss?
I wrote a verb.
Just one?
Just a verb.
Oh no, this is gonna be a short movie.
Yeah.
But really, is there a certain feeling that you're going for with this film?
Yeah. It's a little bit darker than the other film. Because Ultron's in the house, there's a science fiction element that I think is a little bit stronger than the other film, and getting the team together was so rousing. But seriously, keeping the team together is a completely different problem.
So we have some questions for Joss coming in all the time, and if you have questions, just go ahead and send those to us and hashtag MarvelSDCC.
So Ben Living in Classic says, "Good day, Mr. Joss Whedon. How amazing would Ultron look like in the movie?" And I as an Ultron fan, fingers crossed we get to see that first version of Ultron. That's like the V shape, and he's like, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy." So can you confirm that that'll be in the film?
Actually, we just shot you doing that, and that's going to be
boom.
It's going to be the film. Ultron is definitely somebody who evolves. So we're going to get a couple of different sort of iterations.
That is cool.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
Do you have a particular favorite version of Ultron from the comics? You know,
I do, but nothing can be translated exactly the way it was in the comics, particularly Ultron, because all he does is. that's his only thing.
Julian Jougraf, who is from France, said, "Could Avengers 2 happen across the world? Or just in primarily one city? They want to see a global Avengers film."
Well, they're going to be very happy because it is very much a global Avengers film. A lot of the movie has to do with their place not just in America but in the world.
And when do you begin shooting?
End of February, beginning of March, around then. So,
and can you say where?
We're going to be shooting. We'll be staying at the following address. But we'll be shooting in London. London will be the base for Avengers 2, which is cool for me.
Absolutely, a good place to shoot.
Yeah.
Jacob Comic Eater says, has a question that's really, who do you think on the cast for the Avengers, what personalities most match their characters? Are they similar to their characters at all?
Yes. Robertson said, and let's see, Chris Evans, a big stick in the mud, and Hemsworth thinks he's a god. No, I would say, Mark, there's so much Mark in Banner, because he's a guy who understands his own dark side and is the most gracious guy in the world. And you would not think that man could be angry, but when he decides to at least pretend that he is, he doesn't need to get bigotry, and that guy is scary.
And as you're writing the sequel, is there a character that you really enjoy writing that maybe you feel like is similar to your voice?
To my voice, there's a little bit of me in everybody. Obviously, Tony and I share an inability to shut up that I like very much. I think part of the fun for me, definitely this time around, is writing Hawkeye, because he did get possessed pretty early by a bad guy and sort of have to walk around scowly for most of the movie last time, and so now it's nice to actually have the character there and really see him interact with the other guys.